Hello and welcome back to the Perth to Paisley podcast, episode number 178, and you join us as Hearts are out of the Premier Sports Scottish League Cup after losing 2-0 to Falkirk in FK5. To speak all about it, I, as ever, am Daniel McIver, joined by I was going to say pessimistic, I don't know how he's really feeling, Adam Kennedy. Adam, how are you?
He doesn't know how he's really feeling. Fine. Just all aspects of life. Just see when things go great and everything works in tandem, you're really happy. And then see the minute that one thing goes wrong, it just feels like everything goes wrong. And I'm really low, to be honest.
Yeah.
Really, really low. But we just got to try and dig ourselves out of the little hole that we've created for ourselves, both me personally and this football club. How are you?
Yeah, the club aren't doing you any favours at all, are they? No. Doing alright. First day back at work today. It was alright. It's still just hot and clammy, and I'm not a fan of it. It's starting to get a bit cooler now this week, and I'm like, autumn's coming. The best season. Yeah. Yes, it's the best. No, it's the best. It's the absolute best. But
the second worst.
Tell you what fucking wasn't the best. The past weekend of football for us as fans of Heart of Midlothian, because that very much was the worst so far. Who knows the depths we can drop to the rest of the
that's
season.
The spirit.
Exactly, because it was our both entrance and exit from this season's League Cup as we travelled to Falkirk.
Sorry, what is it about this competition that ever since we've ditched this shitty League Cup group format, we seem to just play one game in this cup competition and deem that enough? I'm
telling you now, we will win the Champions League before we win the Scottish League Cup again. I am now genuinely at the point of believing that. I don't think we're ever going to win this trophy again. We will win the Scottish League before we win the Scottish League Cup. It's never going to happen again, and I think we as a fan base need to accept it.
But it has to happen. It has to happen. My father has not seen it in his lifetime.
Same with mine.
This.
Seen plenty of Scottish Cup. We can't keep count of the Scottish Cups we've won.
But what are we doing categorically? Don't get me wrong. If we had to win one, I'm very much in the Scottish Cup camp. But I mean, what are we doing categorically, fundamentally wrong? There has to be something that is it like. What is this? It's like some kind of curse or some sort of juju has been planted on us.
I'll tell you what it is. We're too good for the League Cup. It's the Scottish Cup we've
that's it. Yeah, that's definitely it.
I think this weekend proved we're too good for the League Cup, and it's better for everybody else.
Too good for ourselves, apparently.
Exactly. So, before we speak about that, we have the rest of the round to go through, and we, thankfully, weren't the only shock of the round.
Yeah, we got bailed out.
Yeah, basically. And if you're watching on YouTube, I suddenly have opened the gates to heaven because the BBC website is the brightest thing in the world. As there was 5 games on the Saturday. There was our game, which we will speak about. Aberdeen left it very late.
Annoyingly.
Against, Queen's Park, their new signing, getting a 93rd minute goal, I believe it was, as they won 1-0. Dundee are just the greatest team in the world as they beat Rhys McCabe's Airdrie 6-1 at home at Dens. Rangers, in reasonably controversial fashion, defeated Craig Levinson Johnson at I was about to say at Ibrox. No, at Hampden.
You wouldn't be the first to fall into that trap.
Yep, at Hampden. And then the other shock that we were speaking about at League 2 Spartans. Just outside my window, I saw the team bus go past me for Ross County, both on the way and depressingly on the way back, as they lost 1-0 to Spartans. Back. That is a long, long journey back. Don Cowie's men lost 1-0 to Spartans on the Saturday. Then on the Sunday, Dundee United beat St Mirren, as you thought they would.
Yeah.
And then Motherwell beat Kilmarnock, as you thought they would as well, before Celtic then just comfortably ran out against Hibs 3-1 winners.
As everybody thought they would.
As everyone thought they would. And before I ask you your thoughts, I will just say especially on a weekend like this, isn't it nice when that Hibs are back to our childhood and have a shit goalie that's really funny?
Yeah, he's the latest in the catalogue of keeper clangers. Yeah, that's nice. I don't really care that Celtic are through though. In terms of the other Sunday games, I'm really worried.
I didn't expect that to be the sentence. Okay,
because our clubs are just not tailor-made for Thursday, Sunday. Unless you're one of the old firm and you can play on a Tuesday or Wednesday as Celtic will, to then go Saturday or potentially Sunday. Rangers maybe Thursday, Sunday. Sometimes 4 hours in a week. Like we just can't do this. I'm concerned. Like and again, we'll go just as Kelly will have gone to Fir Park. That's a massive game for us already at the weekend, as far as I'm concerned. In terms of the Saturday, my pal actually got sent off for Airdrie, so he didn't help their matters at Sens Park. Young Dylan McDonald, who they picked up from East Kilbride, who was there when I was there. Dundee are just the greatest Scottish team to watch. It's going to be apparent they're going to be a heck of a lot of fun at either end.
I thought that last season. I thought they were the best team to watch last season.
I would probably agree. He's doing a wonderful job as Tony Docherty. Spartans, incredible result. Absolutely incredible result. To beat Livingston in the group stages was impressive enough, but to then knock out Premiership side in Ross County and earn a money-spinning tie up in Pittodrie is fantastic. Really pleased for everybody connected to Spartans. Cracking club. And I wonder what price you'd got with the bookies for them being Edinburgh's furthest club in this competition. In terms of others, Aberdeen, annoying, but to be expected. They'll feel as though they've got a right good chance of winning it. Even the draw was pretty underwhelming, if I'm honest. Thankfully, we weren't in it because of the balls that came out in the way that they came out. But ultimately, I didn't even tune in for the draw because what's the point? We're not there, so I don't. Really care.
I was the one who informed you what happened in the draw because I was making a joke about it, and you were like, "Oh, was that the draw?"
I didn't even see it. Like I was just depressed as hell. Come Saturday, feel slightly better now, but sort of creeping back into this depression because we're going to talk about it. So, in terms of the League Cup. Oh, the Rangers goal as well, can we just say the Dessers goal is nothing short of a disgrace. I mean, what chance do the non-old firm clubs actually have? Seriously.
They were complaining about that red card they got in Europe, and then it's like, oh yeah, I remind you this happens every fucking game for everybody else.
Like, I mean, seriously. You watch it back, and you can see, clear as day, Matthew McDermott point back to the halfway. It's an absolute mess. The audio should be released from it. I loved Craig Levein before his presser. Just what a guy.
I thought we were going to get another Dundee United Rangers moment from him.
So did I. I had to show a couple of my workmates that because they were like, "No, I've not seen it." That is by far the best Scottish post-match interview I have ever seen in my entire life. The one at Satanta, as it was back in the day. Incredible. But
you can feel the heat coming off his face.
Stuart Lovell does so well to keep his composure as well. Because I would have been shit scared. I would have just been fearful to say anything. What a man Craig Levein just does not give a shit these days.
Nah.
Absolute hero, icon. I mean, honestly, I'd love to know why they don't release the audio from this sort of stuff. And I don't want to touch on other things too much, but the Rangers fans that have been arrested and charged, thankfully, attacking the St Johnstone SLO is absolutely shocking. I'm so glad that the relevant authorities have caught these scumbags. But I was going to say a quiet weekend. It was actually anything but. But sadly, the laughter was loudest towards one particular club, probably.
It was definitely quiet in Gorgie on Saturday night, unfortunately. We travelled through to Falkirk to open our League Cup campaign, and Stephen Naismith ran in the changes, rang them right in, because only 3 players who started against Dundee started the game. They were the 2 fullbacks, Gerald Taylor and I keep going to call him Luke Penrice. Why do I think his name is Luke Penrice?
Even then, you began with a J there.
I know, and then I caught myself going, no, it's Luke, and then going, no, it's not, it is J. Sorry, Penrice. I'll just call him Penners. They all call him Penners.
Can this be like a running theme throughout this? Can we just call him Luke Penrice?
I will now just call him Luke Penrice, yeah, exactly. And Luke Vargas was running through the middle as the only other remaining player, because Craig Gordon started in goals, as he was last season, very much the cup goalkeeper.
I think we called
Stephen
that as
Kingsley.
well,
Yeah, we did. Yeah, look at us knowing what we're talking about. Stephen Kingsley and Craig Halkett were the centre-half partnership after it came out that Frankie Kent has an infected toe.
Just what we need.
More on that later. It was a double pivot of Boateng and Spittle. Interesting. With a front 3 behind Vargas of Yandand on the left, Yutaro Oda on the right, Liam Boyce in the 10. And as I say, big Luke Vargas up in the number 9. So, this is a rare thing actually. We often make a point of not really kind of speaking to each other about our thoughts on the game during the weekend, because that's what this is for. We don't want to spoil ourselves. But we actually spoke like almost during the game or immediately just after it, going, well, you especially had very strong thoughts about the amount of changes that Stephen Naismith had made.
I made my feelings known at 1:45 on the Saturday afternoon.
Yes, you did.
Like, if a numpty like me can see it, like, it just reeked of, we're taking Falkirk far too lightly. This is a team that, yes, we're playing in League One, but still went undefeated throughout their league season, which is an impressive accolade, regardless of whichever level you're playing at.
Yeah.
That haven't been beaten at home, I don't think, in over a year. Maybe,
I think so.
Maybe once in a year to the New Saints in that Diddy Cup that nobody really cares about.
Yeah.
Sit riding high at the top of the Scottish Championship, 2 wins from 2, just come off the back of a Derby Day victory.
Hadn't conceded.
So I'm not even angry. I just look at it as an onlooker in frustration, because I mean I could see it. I honestly could see it, and yes, I'm well aware we've got a massive European tie on Thursday. So yes, rest your starters by all means. But I'd rest the starters having been in a commanding position in the game in an ideal scenario. Now, of course, if we're protecting a 1-goal lead, that's a far from ideal scenario. But you trust those that come off the bench to make an impact and ultimately seal the deal or see out the victory. That didn't happen. And I think ultimately it's just a big learning curve for us as a whole.
Also,
that being said,
I get that point, right? Where you're saying, like, yeah, listen, important game, rest the starters. I don't think it's a valid excuse 4 games into the season.
No.
They should all be fit enough to be able to play these. When we're in October, and we've been playing Thursday, Sunday repeatedly, it's like, yeah, we need to rest players.
That's why I was a little bit bemused when Stephen Naismith said post Dundee that we lacked energy.
Yeah. That's been a pretty damning thing so far the last 2 games, how just exhausted we look.
But like, these players, like, we haven't had anybody, with the exception of Lauren Shankland and Xander Clark, who plays in goals, that's been away at a summer tournament. Kenneth Vargas, yeah, but he didn't really play for Costa Rica.
But I don't think Kenny's ever looked tired. I would never say Kenny's been one of the players who looks tired.
And this is the thing, like, I love Vargas. I think he's raw, but there's one thing that I cannot accuse him of, and that's that he's lazy, or that he doesn't give his maximum. So I just think the rest of them, like, what are we doing? Like, even the setup you said there, we basically said in pre-season, Blair Spittle cannot play as a 6, and yet here he is alongside Malachi Boateng, who we were desperate to sign because we've had nobody else, and now it's still even after him, it feels like we've got nobody else to accompany him. And again, Blair Spittles had the best season of his career in terms of, I mean, his numbers for Motherwell, I don't have them to hand, but were incredible last year.
Yeah.
And yet there he is, dropping deep, or trying to receive the ball in a deep position and try and play that long pass, and that's just not been his game. So I don't know. I'm looking at it now thinking, previously I'd have said that we had excellent options. Are our options really that great? I mean, the backup brigade here haven't exactly covered themselves in glory or set the header alight.
Well, my point is kind of, my overall point and feeling will make more sense at the end of the game, so I'll speak about it then. But we're saying all this, admittedly, we had a pretty good opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, because, and this is probably, sorry McIver, this is probably why I'm not too angry. Because on another day we could win that game, and
in
probably
the first
should win that game.
8 minutes, literally minute 1, Blair Spittle finds Oda on the right.
That was the best pass he played all day, and it was after 1 minute.
Yeah, who drills it back across the box to Liam Boyce, but his effort sails over the bar. 4 minutes later, Danda swings in a corner that's flicked on by Boateng to Kenny Vargas, who is like, in one motion, spins round 180 degrees, volleys as he does it, but his shot smashes off the bar. Then Danda finds Oda on the left this time, who plays another cutback low to Kenny Vargas, but then his shot's just really well saved by Nicky Hogarth, who overall had a very good game as well, like, generally. But that's opening 10 minutes, and you could argue we should have scored at least 2 of them. I think the Vargas one is the hardest chance because he's spinning, and the fact he even manages to get it. Yeah, exactly.
This is again where my concern is, like, in terms of last season, did we get away with murder because of how well Lawrence Shankland performed last season? Did he paper over cracks last season? Did he effectively carry us to third on his own? When Lawrence Shankland isn't available and doesn't play, we do lack a serious cutting edge, and that's apparent. I love Liam Boyce to bits, but he's not been an out and out goal scorer since his Ross County days.
Yeah.
Kyosuke Tago has left the club because he wasn't the answer. We're no further on in potentially signing another striker. We can't really rely on James Wilson because he's young, albeit looks a fantastic prospect. Vargas, I still don't know if he's an out and out centre forward.
Musa's not got any minutes yet, but he's also a Vargas where he's predominantly a winger but can play through the middle. But
how pish must he be to not even be getting a look in at the minute?
I think apparently he's had it was an issue that flared up in his medical that was minor, which is why he's now in squads, but it meant that he wasn't going to be able to play the first couple of games.
Okay. So right, okay. But I've reeled them all of them off there. All of them put together don't have the finishing ability of Lawrence Shankland. That's just a fact. So it's become apparent that we probably need another centre forward. At least that's my view. Or we have to desperately hope that these guys can find their shooting boots. I don't want to be too critical, but ultimately, I mean, the players will know themselves. We've passed up some good opportunities, particularly early on. And naturally, of course, we're going to look to the bench at a guy that has scored, 25 plus goals in back-to-back seasons.
However, saying all that, Falkirk did create some chances. Gary Oliver, former Hearts, obviously did well. Touched the ball forward into the Hearts box, but his shot is saved by Craig Gordon. However, 2 minutes later, it is the chance of the game for us. It should be 1-0. In fairness, he said his best pass. Blair Spittle plays another quite good through ball here.
I don't want to seem like I'm digging out Blair Spittle. I like Blair Spittle as a footballer, but
I also thought this was Blair Spittle's best half. His first half, I was like, it's probably his best performance for us.
I just feel sorry for him, McIver, because...
Yeah, definitely. He's been hung out to dry.
Of course he has. This is probably the biggest club that Blair Spittle's played for, and yet it's been a far from ideal start when you're having to make up. You're essentially covering for two players. And then I see fans saying, oh, well, Blair Spittle doesn't look up to farming back out to Motherwell or whatever. Nonsense. There's a talented player in there, but this just reeks of square pegs and round holes.
Yeah.
And this has been a bugbear of mine for years and years and years. Play players in their natural fucking position. Find Malachi Boateng a partner if Benny Beningame or Callum Neuenhoff ain't going to be back.
I also think from Falkirk, when you're going away from home and you dig, Cammy Devlin is a fucking perfect partner for Boateng in that situation.
The selection is baffling when you look at it. I'd totally forgotten about Devlin.
He was there. He came on.
Exactly. If he's fit enough to come on, why not just start him and Boateng? It just makes sense. Cammy Devlin, toward the end of last season, effectively made that position his own. He basically converted to Stephen Naismith's wants and needs. And now all of a sudden isn't getting a look in because...
This happened last season, if you remember.
We're desperate for a creative midfielder to play in that position that's strictly theirs.
Yeah, Devlin... I was getting furious with Naismith this time last season because Devlin was amazing in Europe and was never playing in the league. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm worried it's happening. But we're speaking about Yutaro Oda because he is clean through in the clear. He's got about 10 years to decide what he wants to do. And in probably peak, this is Yutaro Oda and his decision making. He just decides to just not place it and hit it right at Nicky Hogarth. For me, it kind of summed him up where I'm like, yeah, he's not our level. I've just kind of in that moment, it's like not half seasons, but this is in his third season now. He's just not consistently good enough.
That's wild. That is wild. So so he'll have been at the club for 2 years in January. Is that right?
I believe so, because I think he came January 22. No, January 23.
Right.
Yeah, so we've got half season.
24 to 25.
Full season.
No.
And now... No.
22.
Wait. Yeah, 22, sorry. Yeah.
Aye.
Tail end of that, 23-24 season, and now this season is his third.
So we're coming up to near 3 years at the club.
Yeah.
Jesus wept. I tell you what, that most improved player shout for me is looking brilliant.
I forgot about that.
Have I placed a jinx on Yutaro Oda?
I think you have.
Sorry.
I think you have.
It's a sitter.
These
Japanese players have come into Celtic, just slotted in right away. We sign one. Everybody gets all excited because they look at how Hatate performs, how Maeda performs, how Kyogo performs, and they're expecting the same thing. And there's a reason why he was picked up by us and not Celtic.
It is interesting this summer how we seem to have abandoned the kind of Asian Australian market.
Yeah, the Oceania.
Yeah, we've kind of just abandoned that for we're now in love with South America. That's what it is now.
Some of that Costa del Gorgie flair.
Exactly. We've just been like, no, fuck off. But yeah, should be 1-0, but it's not.
Sitter. Absolute sitter. Has to score. And do you think it's a decent save? Because I don't even think it is.
No, it's just hit arm.
I agree. This such a lack of killer instinct. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, then easily the most intense 60 seconds of the half comes in the 41st minute. Boyce flicks a ball up into the sky in the Falkirk box, and it's met on the volley by Blair Spittle really well, but it's actually, this one's a really good save by Nicky Hogarth. I don't think this is just right place, right time. I think it's a good save. From there, Falkirk should score. It should be 1-0 Falkirk. The ball is played up to McKeever.
Your namesake.
No, because it's McKeever, and this was my life at school. Everybody thinking, oh, MCI is McKeever. No, MACI is McKeever. MCI is McIver. Right?
I heard Laurie's commentary, to be fair. He nailed it.
He did well, Laurie. Well done. He said it in the first half he was pronouncing Boateng weird, and then the second half he just started,
I heard that as well.
And then the second half he was like, Boateng. And it's like,
Yes.
well in Laurie.
None of this Prince Bob and malarkey. Come on.
No, none of that. Well, my namesake, if you want to call it, nips past Halkett like he isn't even there. Then Kingsley just runs on like a train and air swipes the ball, and he is completely through. But the only man who could save it is the man who's in goals. As Craig Gordon makes a Craig Gordon save, just tips it past the post. Bluntly, we should be going into half-time 1-0 down.
Fully. Incredible save from CG. Yeah. Just, I mean, well, should we? Like, we should.
Well, no, yeah, we should have scored our chances.
Yeah.
But considering we didn't,
we could
ridiculous.
We could have easily beat. That was the chance of the half, probably for either.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we've left it as long to talk about the back four, because I was angling for a back four, not that back four.
Yeah.
That centre half duo.
I know. Listen, I know this is what I'm going to probably get to. Quite a lot of criticism of Naismith at the end of this. I don't criticise Naismith in terms of like, it's not, he can't do anything about Frankie Kent being out and suddenly being like, oh wait, shit, I've now got to just make a makeshift. I don't understand why he dropped roles. It's like, surely have some continuity in there, but okay, brand new centre halves. But still, for me, it very much proved, oh yeah, Stephen Kingsley is still not a centre half. He's finding a left side of a 3 where he still gets to kind of operate a left foot, but he's not a centre back. No, and I'm terrified that we play him in a 2 continuously.
I don't think he's one of the 2. I don't think he's the left of the 2 either. I think he's the more defensive replacement for James Penrice, but now of course we've got another left back on the scene.
Yep. Who, by the way, again, Penrice, I know we'll get to the goal, but I feel like Penrice was out of the 4 the least bad on the day. Yeah,
and again, he offers something offensively. As poor as we've looked, and yes, we've conceded 5 goals in our last 2 games to Dundee and Falkirk.
I think he's only at fault for like 1.
Yeah,
the first Falkirk goal.
I think he's been good. I like him. I think he's Hearts is very much sink or swim, and so far he's proved to me that he's a swimmer. So I like Luke Penrice.
Yeah, Luke Penrice.
So
actually,
I've got
fuck
no
it.
plans about him.
I'm going to speak about my issue with the system now, because my dad was there.
Wait, are you going to say the 2 centre halves? No.
Yeah, it's in conjunction with that.
Okay.
They're at the centre point of it. My dad was at the game, and he was sat 2 seats down from Stuart Kettlewell, who was obviously there
to scout, given we got them on the weekend.
So I didn't really end up speaking to my dad on the Saturday, but I phoned him on the Sunday, and the first question he asked was, he was like, were we playing with 2 defenders? And I was like, what do you mean? We obviously had the fullback. And he was like, yeah, but go back and watch phases of play when we have the ball. So I did. And routinely, Taylor and Penrice are tucked in further inside than Oda and Danda. Now, that can happen with boring FM chat tactics here. That can happen when you're playing with the system, especially a 3. That can happen with your 3 centre halves, so they push the ball up forward, there's still defensive solidity, and your wing backs, typically in that situation, invert. So you dominate the middle of the park, and then the opposition either will rush into the middle to try and combat that, and you have more space out wide, or they will just be like, shit, we don't have the numbers in the middle of the park, and you can dominate the ball in the middle of the park. With a 4, that only works if your 2 centre halves are excellent ball players and have pace to prevent runners in behind. 1, I don't think either of them. Kingsley's quite good with the ball at his feet.
I was going to say Kingsley's a ball player. Craig Halkett certainly is not.
Craig Halkett, at the peak of his powers, certainly is not.
Was not,
Never
no.
mind his first start in 7 months, nearly.
And talking about pace, I mean, he looked slower than a week's work, Craig Halkett.
And Kingsley, again, I'd say Kingsley's obviously faster than Halkett, but Kingsley is no way, I wouldn't say Kingsley's fast.
No, he's not.
I would never characterise him as that.
Any stretch of the imagination.
So what it means, and it's kind of really exemplified in the goal that we're about to get to, it meant that Penrice and Taylor were so pushed up, and in a system that we haven't used, we've used inverted wing-back/fullbacks routinely throughout Stephen Naismith's time, but we've never used inverted fullbacks within a system that has no player comfortable in centre-half playing with the ball at their feet. And it means that the players are just like...
so exposed.
Yeah. If you lose the ball in transitions, if you lose the ball through
Which
goal
we're good
kicks,
at. We're really good at that.
If you lose the ball through a foul and they quickly take... I know that's kind of a transition, but you know what I mean? Like, it's an out-of-play transition. Then it means that you are fucked unless you have your fullbacks basically need to be the fittest player on the pitch, never run out of stamina, and need to constantly basically act like a centre mid, box to box centre mid, but in a fullback position. And as we say, I think Penrice has been really good. I don't think he's that. I don't know who Gerald Taylor has turned into. He doesn't look like a footballer anymore, never mind Gerald Taylor of Rangers and Tottenham fame. But it just was baffling that Naismith would do. Not only was my issue with the changes, it was like, what is this system? This is a mental system to play at the best of times. But so no wonder when you make 8 changes and play that system where we're going to have a lot of the ball, that players make mistakes and don't look right. So
you're happy with the shape and formation? It's just instructions within.
I don't like the instructions within. Yeah. If it was like 4-2-3-1 with overlapping fullbacks and the centre halves would spread out and not really be the centre point of the ball, a 6 drops in to pick it up, I'm fine with that.
Are we trying to overcomplicate things rather?
I think so. I think Naismith is tinkering too much, and it's like, yes, totally understand that stat. That it was like Naismith last year, I think, only played the same team once and stuff like that. I have no problem with him making like change a couple of players here, change a couple. Yeah. But to make 8 changes and play a new system in a league season where we've played 3 games and played 3 different systems, it's like pick something and let's see if we can work on it.
I then wonder if we're waiting till the Motherwell game to just go back to basics, strip it back. Because I don't think we can afford to do that in Europe.
No,
we're coming up against a better team, and that's just simple as. But I'm really intrigued to see what happens with Motherwell at the weekend.
I apologise for like boring tactics talk. I know a lot of people don't like.
Not at all.
But it was so apparent, and it was like, what did we say last week? Within 8 minutes of the Dundee game, you were like, this system isn't working. We've got no bodies in midfield, and it was like Naismith saw that against Dundee and went, oh, right, I've left 2 in the middle of the park against a 3. That doesn't work. Falkirk are probably going to have 3 in the middle. So I'll just put 6 in the middle and have 2 at the back. And it's like, no, you don't need to do that. But, as I say, it is all perfectly summarised in the 53rd minute as Falkirk open the scoring. They break with pace with Adams on the left-hand side.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, Penrice isn't even in the picture once the ball is played, because Penrice, when the ball is played to Adams, is standing in the centre circle on the halfway line. That's not just James Penrice going, oh, I'm just going to go up here. That's instruction. That is him clearly told to be there. It's then cut back, and listen, Ethan Ross just has to guide it into the net. There's nowhere that... If it's blocked by Kingsley, then fair play. But once the shot gets off, you're like, if he's hitting the target, this is in terms of the close range. I've just put in my notes. Penrice nowhere to be seen clearly through instruction. Boyce has a loose pass at the top of the pitch that starts the whole thing. Boateng, I thought it was his one weakest moment. I thought Boateng was our best player again. But this is the one moment where he loses his man and it allows a transition to happen. There's nothing Gordon can do in goals. But we're 1-0 down.
looks a find, Malachi Boateng.
Yeah, he does. He does.
I will agree with
you.
The
only positive to come out of the last 2 games.
Yeah. Keelan Adams was playing for Cumbernauld Colts in the Lowland League.
I didn't even know that.
Like, there is talent within the Lowland League, yeah. I mentioned Dylan McDonald earlier on, who played for Airdrie, but of course sent off the weekend. Not going to go into that. I think the right back does really well, but as you say, he's got the freedom of Falkirk to just wander down that right hand side. Lovely cutback, thunderous finish, but defensively, we are at 6s and 7s. This is my kind of not gripe or worry, but concern. How are relationships meant to develop on the park when you make 8 changes?
Yeah.
There has to be some form of continuity in order for us to dig out a result from somewhere. It's not going to happen by chance. So we need to play our strongest team. We will, I think, on Thursday night anyway. But then take that into Sunday. If we dig out a result Sunday, just keep it simple. Just name that as the first 11 and just take it from there. At Tynecastle the following Thursday, and then Dundee United, isn't it, the Sunday? So,
yeah,
big games coming up. This is not. We have to try and find something that works. We have to try and find a remedy. We have to try and find players that can play alongside one another. My worry is at the back. If Frankie Kent is out, we're fucked. My worry is again in midfield. Who are the two that sit in front of the back four? Malachi Boateng's one. Cammy Devlin for me should be the other.
Yeah, agreed.
And we'll take it from there. But I mean, we could have won this game. We should have had it wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then you're just punished defensively for rotten defending. I mean, abysmal mistakes. The second goal's even worse.
Well, we'll get to that right now, because just before it, listen, we didn't do anything in the second half.
Nothing of note.
The only highlight in our favour is in the 75th minute as Shanklin neither passes or shoots a header over the bar.
That was such a weird one.
And he just looked like...
He doesn't know what he's doing.
It sounds like we're being very critical of Naismith, and I think Naismith does deserve a lot of criticism. It's not his fault that Oda misses sitters, that we don't take chances. But additionally...
the players need to have a look at themselves as well. The backup brigade, because this ain't it.
Well, but also, what the fuck is up with Shanklin's fitness? For the first time in 3 seasons, I'm starting to be like, are you fit? Because he came on in the 56th minute. This was the 75th minute. Yeah, this was the 75th minute, and he was blowing out his arse. He looked exhausted, and it was kind of like I noticed it, and I was like, you've been on the park for 20 minutes, and bluntly, you've not done that much running about. Like,
you had a chance.
Yeah, like, and it goes on to my point, why do so many of our players look like we're in October in terms of fitness? Apart from, like, your exceptions of your Kenny Vargas's Cammy Devlin, who just will run for days and never look tired.
I don't know, it makes you wonder what they were doing in the warm weather training camp.
I know, exactly. What the fuck was that? Are they maybe just needing 28-degree weather to play well in? It's like,
are they needing,
oh shit.
Are they needing more than, 3 friendlies that we did have in pre-season? Like, I don't know. It's a good point. I have no idea. Again, like, certain members of the side letting themselves down when it comes to fitness. Again, like, I hate to do this, but honestly, I've reached a point now where I just think that we should be cutting ties with some. And
I know what you mean.
Craig Halkett is one of them for me, McIver.
Craig Halkett's not for me, but in that way of I'm like, I just like Craig Halkett, so I'd keep him until he retires.
I like Craig Halkett, but the best ability is availability. He hasn't been for a long time, and when he has been, I mean, he's so slow.
I'd keep him around like a mascot in a cupboard, so he can just be brought out and smile in pictures. I'd pay him a wage for that. It's fine. Somebody who, by the way, isn't, even despite I can't mind how old Craig Halkett is, 30?
Don't think he's as old as that. I want to say 28.
you find out. Basically, somebody who definitely isn't his fucking age, is a lot older, 41-year-old Craig Gordon, keeps us in the game again, as in the 77th minute.
Oh my God.
Gordon makes a ridiculous save from McKeever again. McKeever will just be like, oh, I'm sorry. Everybody else can get mistakes and easy things, but Craig Gordon has it out for me, being like, no, you're not scoring. As he should score again. But Gordon does what Craig Gordon does and make ridiculous fucking saves to keep us in it. And then Craig Gordon does the mistake that he has often done throughout his career. He wants to play football. That's not your job, Craig. Your job is to not play football. Before I do this, how old is Craig Halkett?
He's neither 28 nor 30. He's 29.
29. Okay, right, okay. Well, 11 years older, Craig Gordon's still smashing. No, 12 years older, Craig Gordon's still smashing it.
That's wild. Well, you say that. Well,
he's not smashing it here because Craig Halkett isn't really at fault at this, actually. Kingsley and Gordon just decide to fuck it all up, as in the 81st minute, there's a goal kick. Kingsley receives the ball and acts like he's never received a football before. Where he just
like it's a bomb going off.
Yeah, he's like furious at Gordon for giving him it. Gives it back. Gordon, as we have all learned over the 20-year career, can't play football. So goes to clear very a la Xander Clark last week. And just go, Xander, don't worry, I'll also do it. So I've bailed you, mate.
I know, it's like a round robin of goalkeeper fuck-ups for us.
The ball was cut back. And Dylan Tate, he kind of just, like, P-rollers it. And Stephen Kingsley just decides to jump over the ball as it's going towards goal. Stephen Kingsley did not have a good game. No, it's 2-0. I don't really give a shit about this goal. In the perspective of, we weren't scoring anyway. The game was going to finish either 1-0 or 2-0.
Yeah, it was done.
Yeah. It doesn't. That's why I don't care about this in terms of Gordon. Gordon had an excellent performance.
But it's a shit goal to concede.
It is, but also I think it comes from instruction. Why in the 81st minute are we still passing it about the back?
I agree with that, but I mean, lump it along to who? Lauren Shanklin.
I know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what do you want them to do? Again, I don't know. Like the Kingsley, I love. I've always loved Stephen
and last
Kingsley.
Season he was exceptional.
He was
as well.
excellent. Is he now a bit part player? But then, if he is, why would you offer him the 4-year deal that?
I don't think he is a bit part player.
I think he's better than that. But then I would question as to where he fits into this as a left back.
I think with the level.
I could see him with Frankie Kent. Sorry, McIver in a back four. I'd feel more confident with him and Frankie Kent.
Maybe. I just really worry about him.
He and Halkett are not the answer as a duo. And that again, I've talked about in recent seasons, people that are hanging on. I think Craig Halkett is the latest that's hanging on to his Hearts career by his fingertips, if I'm honest.
I think the Kingsley role is that we're probably going to play about 50 games this season. I think it's just that everybody's going to have to... everybody will play like 12 games, kind of thing. But Kingsley will play a lot more than 12 games. I think Kingsley... I just don't think we'll have a consistent left side. I think the left side will be constantly changing between Penrice, Rolls, Kingsley, and now Salazar as well.
That's a concern for me.
Yeah. But that was it.
Pish. Absolute crap.
Tease out, we're out the cup, but we've still got other competitions to play for. But before that, we've got a guy who won't
the draw that we're not involved in, or okay.
No, fuck the draw. We spoke about it earlier. You mentioned all of them. It made it. I will say, it's made the.
I wanted a bigger
result
for Spartans, to be honest.
Yeah, it's made the result a lot more palatable, knowing we would have just went to Parkhead.
Yeah, but again, it's. I said it at the end of the podcast. I don't want to have one competition to be playing for in August. Yeah. And ultimately we do. This is shit.
What are you talking about? We're winning the Europa League. Because on Thursday...
No, we're going to drop to the conference and win that.
And
then we'll win the Europa next year and the Champions League the year after that.
And then we'll win the League Cup after we've won the Champions League. Well, if we want to start this master plan, we've got a two-legged affair against the Czechs, Victoria Pleasant.
I thought you were just going to ditch it out, like pronouncing their name there.
No.
I just thought you were just going to not patch that. If it was the Ukrainian mob that they beat in the last round,
absolutely.
you would.
But yeah, Victoria Pleasant. I think when the draw was originally made, everybody went, we're definitely playing Pleasant. That's who we've got. We're not playing the Ukrainian team. And they're very good. How good are they, you ask? Well, since 2017, they've lost 5 games in Europe at their home stadium.
Saw that.
I can't remember who was it?
It was Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan,
and FZSB.
Steaua Bucharest, the new Steaua Bucharest.
Yes. So, since 2017, the only teams to win are Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Barca, and Inter.
Real Madrid was the other one. That's right.
Yeah. Their squad is worth 49.8 million on Transfermarkt. Ours is worth 11. So they have at least a 4 times better squad. That's nearly 5 times. They're a Champions League team in very recent years. We're going to get battered. And I think it didn't matter what happened going into this game. I think we could have beaten Rangers, beaten Dundee, beaten Falkirk, and I'd have been sat here going, we're going to get battered in the Czech Republic. But in terms of preparation, it couldn't really have gone worse.
It couldn't. But why... I hate myself for this. Why have I got a bizarre sense of optimism at Tynecastle?
You're insane. Well, we might. We might win 2-0 at Tynecastle, and the aggregate score will be 8-2. So, maybe Tynecastle, there will be optimism.
If we... A 1-0 defeat or a 2-1 defeat is a good result.
You're insane. You're insane if you think...
I'm trying to be fucking positive here. I'm trying to be positive at 3-1 off Dundee. But... Yeah. I look at it and think, how are FC Zurich at this level previously? Like, this...
Right.
What am I trying to say here? No, it couldn't happen.
Who's their most expensive player?
Can't happen.
The most expensive player...
How many of their players do you know?
That's what I'm currently on. If you just list them, I'm currently on their squad. I'm Transfermarkt. The most expensive player is a Czech man by the name of Pavel Sulch, who I do actually... Why do I know that name?
Never heard of him.
I don't know why I know that name, because I don't recognise it. He might be an FM guy that I know. But they've got... I'll fucking tell you who is an FM guy. They've got the Brazilian... Is he a right mid? He is a right mid. Cadu, who's good in FM.
Okay.
So if
Kadu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's him. But their most expensive player is their number 10, Pavel Sulch, who's only 22. He's worth 6 million. Then their centre half,
nice.
Robin Hranch, is worth 5 million, who can play centre half, 6, right back as well. Multi-tooled.
Bit of versatility, I like it.
Their striker is a man by the name...
He'll be licking his lips.
Rafiu Durasinimi.
Durasinimi is his surname.
Durasinimi is a Nigerian man. He plays as a striker. How many goals has he got? In his career, in 86 professional games of football, he's got 31 goals and 14 assists.
Nice.
He's never scored in Europe. That'll fucking change.
Yeah, brilliant.
Also, that's a lie. I just realised he's played 6, scored 3 in Europe qualifications.
Nice.
They're quite a good team, basically. Their goalkeeper's hurt, though. He's ill. Return unknown, so he'll probably be back.
There you go.
Let's just be honest.
We'll take a 2-1
They've got a boy from Marseille,
2-1
Czech Suare.
Back to... Is that the fullback? No?
He can play fullback, but he's also a left mid.
Czech Suare.
He can play left back, though.
Nothing to fear.
Nothing to fear, you think 2-1.
No, I think we'll get pumped, but I'm optimistic and holding out for a 2-1 defeat. Or a 1-0. I hope the Hearts fans that have nipped over have a great time. It was great of the club to post that on Saturday night as well.
Well, I disagreed with you on this because they have to do that.
No, yeah, they do. But why not leave it a day?
Because they don't. Because folk might need to make a bunch of plans.
Hold on. Yeah, okay. So immediately you're going to rinse the fans and say, thanks for supporting us at Falkirk. We were shit. And then just go, but still, I know that you'll back us in the Czech Republic.
Go and have a laugh. I don't care about that. That's just information stuff for social media.
Bollocks.
It doesn't matter.
Leave it a day. Leave it a day when you've just suffered a defeat as embarrassing as that.
No, it absolutely does not matter.
It does.
It doesn't. Right, anyway, something else that the social media team did, and sadly we won't see this man playing in the Czech Republic or at Tynecastle in the return leg, but hopefully at Motherwell, because
very nice.
We have signed, finally, it feels like after a year, the loan signing with the option to buy, the old Kenny Vargas, Gerald Taylor South American dream that we've just fucking conned clubs into doing. Colombian internationalist Andre Salazar. Potentially the coolest name. Is it Andre
or Andres?
It might be Andres.
Like Andres and Iniesta.
Yeah.
Andy Salazar.
Andy Salazar. We've got Gerald, Andy and Kenneth. Right? So they've all
Gerald, Andy and Kenneth. What is happening here?
I don't know. But he's good. And the general response from the world...
Allegedly he's good. Listen, we were like everybody else foaming at the mouth about Gerald Taylor.
No.
The past few games he's been rotten.
No, Gerald Taylor didn't come in with any hype. Gerald Taylor came in with the hype.
I think he did.
Gerald Taylor came in with the hype of like a new signing gets. This has been met with world top level scouts going, what the fuck is he doing going to Hearts? This time last season...
What do these wee gimps know? They're just like you and me.
This time last season... I mean, the main thing that did it are like the scouts of Man City and stuff. But they said...
Right. So hold on a second. Wait a second. You genuinely believe that we've fought off Porto and Cagliari and all these other top teams mentioned to sign him, do you?
I think we could have done with Porto and Cagliari because of the European aspect.
No chance, mate. No chance.
Mainly because I don't think this guy's going to be here next summer. I think his plan is have a really good season.
Springboard.
Yeah. We buy him at the start of the summer and sell him during the summer. I genuinely think that's the plan with this guy. If he's got the height of his build...
I thought we were going to buy and sell Gerald Taylor in the same window, but... Well... Now I don't know about that.
He's meant to be amazing. He was this time last season after
So was Juwon Oshiniwa when he arrived as a Nigerian international that had man-marked Messi at the World Cup. All I'm saying is, don't count your chickens before they've hatched. I appear to have done with Gerald Taylor. If we get Gerald Taylor that was in the Rangers and Tottenham games, great. If Andy Salazar decides to be of that same bracket, I'll be ecstatic. I'll be thrilled. But let's fucking rein it in a bit, is all I'm saying.
I don't know. I feel... It's such a weird thing to say. I feel nothing towards this signing. I don't know what it is. I'm like, okay, I quite like Luke Penrice. So, therefore, I'm kind of like...
Have you forgotten about... You've forgotten about you-know-who?
Well, no. I think that's my conclusion. What a surprise. Alex Cochrane leaves and suddenly we're shite. Oh, it's almost as if for 2 seasons I was telling you this. That's my theory. My theory is that Alex Cochrane left and took all the talent with him.
I miss him too.
But yes, Salazar is eligible to play against Motherwell, where we will travel to this Sunday after.
Hopefully it gives wee Luke a rest.
Yeah, hopefully. Get Salazar in, get Andy in.
One of only 2 changes. If Andy comes in for Luke, then that's great. But
no, how do you think we're going to do at Firth Park?
It's Luke's place to lose. Listen,
agreed.
I'm shitting myself.
They've got like no players.
I don't care. I'm more nervous for Motherwell on the weekend than I am Pilsen in midweek.
So am I, because I've fully accepted we're going to get... My prediction, by the way, for midweek is 5-0.
There's no way.
I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic.
Head says 3-0, heart says 2-1.
Jesus. What do you think about Motherwell on Sunday?
We're going to win 1-0.
I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
Mikhail, we cannot afford to draw at Motherwell.
I know, but I think we will.
We're at a stage now where it's must win. And we're in fucking August.
I will say this.
We have got to dig out a victory from somewhere. We won't get a better chance than, as you rightly say, Motherwell, who are have numerous players on the treatment table, who have brought in new signings aplenty, sort of like us, that haven't really gelled yet. We've got to find a starting 11, a winning formula, and stick with that for the next few weeks and ride the storm.
Additionally, as I said kind of earlier, this has been very critical and obviously coming off the back of that result. But at the same time, the folk calling for Naismith's head, I just think are insane.
Mental.
Absolutely mad. Again, even if we do get gubbed on Thursday, it's kind of you can't use that result as a way to beat the manager. If we get beat at Motherwell, then it starts to be what the fuck is going on?
But it's because of the manager that we're there, ultimately.
Yeah, we're 3 games into
I believe
the season.
It's down to the manager, and I believe it's down to our centre forward, who's just...
It's incredible. A mix of, as it is with everything, it's a mix between management and players.
Yeah.
We've not become... Everybody hasn't suddenly become shite.
No, God no.
In the space of 2 weeks. It's just been a bad 2 weeks.
We've got talented players. This is my thing. This is why I'm saying that we have to dig out a result from somewhere. I honestly believe that's all it needs. Just some inspiration from somewhere. Even if it's the grottiest of solo victories, I won't give a shit. I'll celebrate it just as much as you will.
Remember Aberdeen last year?
We start to carry some momentum, or just we need a little morale boost, a wee confidence, a wee pick me up from somewhere. Hopefully, Fir Park is that destination.
Aberdeen last year looked like it was what the fuck is going on? We're absolutely screwed. We've been beaten by Pittodrie again. We've no won in 4 games. Oh my god, we've got Parkhead coming up next.
Clarkson.
Yeah. And it's oh fuck. And then we go on a 17-game unbeaten run where we win in a derby, beat Celtic, and just pest third.
This is what we're capable of. It's time now that we just see it in action. I would love for us to be coming on here next week, full of positivity, just like the Rangers game, but with some points on the board instead, or more than a point on the board.
Yeah. Well, we're at the end, and obviously...
Whoa, hold on a second. What's your prediction?
Oh, I said 1-0. I think it's going to be 1-0.
You're not actually going with that, are you?
I genuinely think it's going to be 1-0. I think Kenny Vargas is going to score, and we're all going to be this is it. We're fucking... he's off the mark. It's amazing.
You're going to say an Andy Halliday late goal or something.
And Andy... Because I was going to say Sam Nicholson, but he's hurt.
Yeah, he's out for a good few weeks.
Andy Halliday will score and shoosh me. And then it'll finish 1-0.
Brilliant. I'm going to be optimistic and say that we'll win 1-0. Do I honestly believe that? Probably not, but I want to be happy again, people, so that's why I'm going with it.
I'd take it. But yes, we will end as ever with the End Is Near quiz. Because of the shit week we've had, I think this is a pretty alright quiz.
Don't come out with
also,
this.
I will also say, I've accidentally made it really relevant to the games we've had and have. It was not intentional, including Who Am I, who, in the clues, I tell you how it's relevant, but I genuinely didn't mean for this to be as relevant. But I'm just that good that it fucking is. Right,
yeah, that's it.
Yep, we've got a true or false, multiple choice, and 2 normal questions. We're starting with the double header of normal questions.
Oh, Jesus. Because that always goes well.
Yep. First question is, how well do you listen to Laurie Dunsire's commentary? Because Craig Gordon made his 2nd ever Hearts appearance in the Cup against Falkirk.
Yeah.
But what was the score that day?
Did we not get beat 4-0?
Is that your answer?
I don't know. I want to say Colin Samuel ran riot that day. Is that the game I'm thinking of? Yeah, I think we got beat 4-0.
He's 1 for 1. We got beat 4-0 January 2003 in the Scottish Cup.
Jesus, what a time to be alive. Next.
Who was the last goal scorer for Hearts in Europe?
Oh.
Good, isn't it? It's a good. It immediately makes you think.
Who? Because the obvious answer is Shanklin, but Cammy Devlin's in my head. Did we score against Palk Salonika or Thessaloniki? Oh, Jesus Christ. I was at the home game. I'm certain we did. I'm fairly certain we did. I thought it was Shanklin, but now I'm second. Like, that's the obvious answer. Oh my God, this is horrible. Obvious? I think it's Shanklin or Devlin, because I'm thinking Rosenborg, but that was the previous round, and then we got dicked off PAOK. It has to be Shanklin. No? Shanklin at home.
Is that your answer?
Yeah, I'm going with it. Cause, it's not, is it?
You're 2 for 2. Lawrence Shanklin scored the penalty, and then 90 seconds later we conceded. We didn't hold in it at all.
That's right. Because we went 1-0 up, didn't we?
Yeah, and then literally 90 seconds later we conceded. It was a fucking nightmare.
Oh my God, why did I second guess myself there?
Because everyone just remembers the Devlin double, and no one wants to remember the Pauk double header.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
Right. You're 2 for 2.
Did we draw one each?
Yeah, and then we got beat 5-0 or something.
There. 4-0, I think.
4 or 5-0, I can't mind. True or false? So, Hearts have lost to Falkirk in cup competitions all the fucking time, apparently. We lost in January 03, as mentioned. We lost in 10-11, 4-3 in the League Cup.
Yeah. We're not 2-0 down. Got back 3-2 and still got beat 4-3.
Yep. And then also, in 2009, in the Scottish Cup, we got beat 1-0 at Tynecastle. But true or false, on that day, for Falkirk, there was 2 players who in their careers overall won the Scottish Cup at Hearts.
I'm thinking Stephen Paisley and Darren Barr.
Right.
And it's a very specific way that you've worded that, or a very specific amount. So I'm going to say true and hope that it's the 2 that I mentioned.
So you're correct that Darren Barr and Stephen Paisley both did play, but it's false because Neil McCann also played. So there was 3. It was all 3 cup wins of our lifetime.
Jesus.
They
Neil
all
McCann
played
for Falkirk that day.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Presley scored. We got beat 1-0 and Presley scored. Zal got sent off.
Of course he did.
Yeah, the most
that is the most Hearts game I've ever heard of.
But yeah, so the 3 cup wins were all represented. 98.
Neil McCann must have been about 45 then. How old was he then?
How old was Neil McCann
Did he leave us to go to Falkirk?
Neil McCann would have been 35.
Jesus.
He was 1974.
Oh my God. Wow.
Fair play him.
What a player.
Fair play. Yeah, so I did you there in a way
that was good.
But I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, they're all here.
Right. I could not have told you that Neil McCann played in that game. Yeah. Like I say, I was confident in reeling off Presley and Barr, but fair enough. Good
2 for 3.
McIver.
Still not bad at all. Right, multiple choice as well that you're ending them.
Oh yeah.
There's a real possibility that Craig Gordon could play in the upcoming double-header against Victoria Pleasant. But who did he make his European debut against for Hearts?
What a question.
Is it A, Braga? Is it B, Bordeaux? Is it C, Basel? Or is it D, Stuttgart?
Oh, what a horrendous question.
I'm not giving you a Spurs when he wasn't even fucking here and it was 10 years after. I will say all 4 of the opposition came within a 2-year period.
I was going to say it could be any of these. Something's telling me Bordeaux.
Right. Is that your answer?
All options: Braga, Basel,
Stuttgart.
Oh man. Oh, it honestly could be any of these, but Bordeaux jumped out at me for whatever reason. I don't know if that's because I feel sorry for them with the predicament that they're in, that I loved Mark de Vries and I got that top somewhere.
Pochettino's now the US manager.
One of his laddies claims to support Hearts, the
Yeah.
other Hibs. Yeah. Sod it. Bordeaux. No idea.
Craig Gordon played in 3 of the 4 ties. He was
Stuttgart, the
just...
exemption?
Yes. Antti Niemi was in goals for Stuttgart. It was the year before Gordon made his debut.
Okay.
So Gordon was in goals for Braga, Bordeaux and Basel.
Oh no, we didn't play them first, did we?
But Bordeaux was first.
Oh,
correct.
yes!
Bordeaux, you got it. Very well
Wow.
done.
Jesus.
So it was Bordeaux, then Braga.
Was it in
then Basel.
France that he made the debut?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where I've plucked that from. I seem to remember that somehow.
Done.
Did somebody mention that recently?
No, I just went on. I was looking at him for the question about
The
Made
De Vries
I wanted
winner,
to double check.
The De Vries winner, that was Gordon's European debut. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to check,
Jesus.
and it says Gordon played his second. He's made his debut in coming on against Livingston. His second game was against Falkirk, and it was like in the same season he made his European debut against Bordeaux. So I was like, right,
hell.
2 questions.
Livingston, Falkirk, and Bordeaux. What a trio of teams that is.
Right, 3 from 4. You've done very well.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. I worry about this. Who am I though?
Who
As
am
always.
I? Right, are we ready?
Hit me with it.
I exclusively played in Scotland, England, and Lithuania. I was at Hearts for just under a decade. I scored my first ever goal for Hearts against Falkirk and played in a previous cup loss to them as well. I was a former candidate for Scottish Young Player of the Year, but lost to our current manager. Who am I?
Jesus. So same era as Naismith breaking through at Kilmarnock, presumably.
I've got this man's Wikipedia up now.
God. Young player stayed with us for a decade. Oof. I feel like there's going to be loads of folk that are screaming the answer right now. Can you read the clues again, please, McCann?
Yes, of course I can. I have exclusively played in Scotland, England, and Lithuania. I was at Hearts for just under a decade. I scored my first ever goal for Hearts against Falkirk and played in a previous cup loss to them as well. And I was a former candidate for Scottish Young Player of the Year, but lost to our current manager.
Do you know who I've got in my head?
Who?
It can't be. I've got Callum Elliott in my head.
Right.
I'm thinking that would have been around the same time as Naismith. You say Scotland, England, and Lithuania. Did he not? Was he not banished to Lithuania, Callum Elliott? Am I making that up?
Is that one of your questions?
No. Oh God. Yeah, I'm somewhat confident that it is, but I'm not just going to guess it straight off the bat.
That would be bold.
It would. I'd be as well using the questions and lifelines.
But that would make you a coward. So, if you're that confident...
This is mind games.
If you're that confident...
No, go on then. Alright, Callum Elliott. I'm going to go for it.
Is that your final answer? You should have used
Yes.
the fucking
Go on,
lifelines.
do it. Do it.
So,
Please.
I've just fucking realised I didn't actually write Scottish Young Player of the Year. I wrote Scottish Tea Player of the Year. Teenage Player of the Year. Scottish Teenage Player of the Year. But the answer is, as I said to you before we started recording, my dad predicted you'd get it without guesses.
Oh, no.
And you have. It's Callum Elliott.
Yes! Come on!
Well done.
Yes!
You did a Laurie Dunsire when he got Kenny Anderson.
Yeah. He did. So, but England...
His last club
It was that mouse hole, wasn't it?
Mouse hole, yeah.
I seem to remember Laurie bursting out laughing about that on Scars Round the Funnel.
Yeah. Mouse hole.
So
who he then later, he was a player manager.
Jesus. So wait, hold on a second. Was he loaned out to Kaunas, or where the hell did he go? He must have been.
He wasn't loaned out to Kaunas. He was sold to Zalgiris Vilnius. Or Vilnius, sorry.
Zalgiris Vilnius.
Yep. Or simply Zalgiris. So, he was at us from 2004 to 2012. Had loan spells at Motherwell, Livingston, Dundee. Left for a year to go to Lithuania.
Would not have predicted those three.
Nah. Went on loan, a year-long sale.
Alloa, wasn't he?
And then he came back in 2013 to Alloa. Then he was at Wraith, and then Mousehole as a player manager. And then obviously
he's now jumping from club to club as Gaffer, isn't it? I mean, he's ticking off all the Midlothian teams.
In the last 15 months, in the last 15 months,
he's been Pennycook,
Cowdenbeath, and Bonnyrigg, and then obviously before that he was Trinent. So
he was at the Big T. That's right. I forgot about that.
And he's also been manager of Edinburgh United, Mousehole, and Tynecastle in the East of Scotland League.
Was it a Tynecastle boss? Decent.
Yeah. So 4 out of 5. I said to you beforehand, you gave me a nice one last week. Reciprocated it after our duo of horrific 0 appearances for us.
He's one of those that was on like my potentials list, so I can score him off now. That's good.
I couldn't believe we hadn't done Callum Elliott.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, fun fact, I was stood beside him for the Scottish Cup final, the ones where Sims could have scored at the start and just put it past the post, and then
was he in the crowd?
We got beat in extra time. He was like 5 seats along from me and my dad.
Brilliant.
So fair play to you, big Cal.
Even though you manage Bonnyrigg Rose now.
Well, did you manage to get Callum Elliott without any clues? Let us know, and let us know if you enjoyed the episode generally. If you've been listening to us, please leave us a podcast review. It really does help, massively does help. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all forms of social media, perthpaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
They can get me on all the socials firing Bonnyrigg Rose, Callum Elliott and Zalgiris Vilnius Abuse at Adam T. Kendall.
My favourite thing is listening to your brain come up with the sentence as you say the words. They can get me Adam T. Kendall. I can hear your brain be like, what am I going to say?
I don't know why I do that. It's just
I love it.
It's one of these running themes now.
If it ends, we're re-recording the outro. It can never end. But we're back next week to discuss all the fallout from the European and Fir Park double header that we have. Any potential sightings, obviously, because we're getting closer and closer to the end of the transfer window, and anything else that happens. But until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.